On a cloudless June morning, Air India flight AI-171 prepared for what should have been an ordinary international journey. Nearly 250 souls, business travelers, families, students, and crew, boarded the Boeing 787 Dreamliner at Ahmedabad International Airport, bound for London's Gatwick. For most, it was just another flight. For one, it would become a harrowing tale of survival. For the rest, it marked the end of their stories. What happened in those fateful moments? How did a state-of-the-art aircraft become the center of a global tragedy? And why is the world now watching every step of the investigation so closely? To understand the magnitude of this event, we must first appreciate the context. Modern aviation is often touted as the safest mode of transportation. Statistically, the chances of being involved in a fatal air accident are less than 1 in several million flights. This is no accident. Over the past 7 decades, relentless technological innovation, rigorous regulatory frameworks, and international cooperation have steadily reduced accident rates to historic lows. Airliners like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner are marvels of engineering, featuring advanced composite materials, sophisticated avionics, and multiple redundant safety systems. For airlines like Air India, which had not suffered a major crash since the tragic events in Mangalore more than a decade ago, there was every reason to trust in routine. Yet, as history has shown, aviation safety is a moving target. Even the best systems can falter under unforeseen circumstances. On June 12, 2025, Flight AI-171, operated by the Tata Group, took off from the bustling city of Ahmedabad with clear skies above and only moderate winds to contend with. The takeoff checklist was followed, the crew was experienced, and the aircraft itself had passed all pre-flight checks. Within minutes, however, something went terribly wrong. Emergency signals were transmitted, the aircraft veered off its assigned route, and within moments, all contact was lost. When rescue teams finally arrived at the crash site, only one person, miraculously, was found alive among the wreckage of 242 passengers and crew members. The immediate aftermath was marked by shock, grief, and an urgent call for answers. The Indian government acted swiftly, announcing a high-level, multidisciplinary committee to probe the causes of the disaster. This was not just another bureaucratic gesture. The investigation would include experts from the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Indian Air Force, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, and leading international aviation analysts. The black box, containing both the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, was quickly recovered and transported to Delhi for detailed analysis. The Tata Group pledged financial compensation to the families of the victims, promising 1 crore rupees, roughly $120,000 for each deceased passenger. But as anyone affected by such tragedies knows, no amount of money can truly compensate for the loss of a loved one. Public and media scrutiny intensified almost immediately. The global aviation community, regulators, and passengers everywhere demanded to know, how could such a well-regarded aircraft, operated by a reputable airline, meet such a fate under seemingly normal conditions? Jeffrey Thomas, editor of Airline Ratings, captured the mood succinctly. Given the 787 Dreamliner's generally strong safety record, this crash is particularly concerning and demands thorough investigation. The impact was felt far beyond India's borders. Boeing's stock price tumbled by 7% overnight, erasing billions of dollars in shareholder value and sparking fears about the future of the Dreamliner program. International media outlets framed the disaster as a test, not just of Air India's operational standards, but of Boeing's reputation for safety and reliability. Aviation authorities from Europe, North America, and Asia began reviewing their own fleets of Dreamliners, while airport safety protocols at Ahmedabad came under a microscope. Unconfirmed rumors circulated about mechanical failure, pilot fatigue, software glitches, and even gaps in the airport's emergency response. Captain Mohan Ranganathan, a respected Indian aviation safety expert, issued a sobering reminder. Pilot fatigue and inadequate training are frequent contributors to takeoff accidents. He went on to highlight that demanding schedules, insufficient rest periods, and shortcuts in simulator training can create dangerous conditions even before an aircraft leaves the ground. Dr. John Hansman, professor of aeronautics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, echoed this call for comprehensive investigation. The analysis must cover not just mechanical and technical factors, but also human elements, organizational culture, and environmental conditions. As the investigation unfolds, 3 major lines of inquiry have emerged. The first centers on potential mechanical or technical failure. Could a critical engine component have malfunctioned at the worst possible moment, as early reports suggest? Steve Douglas, a former NTSB investigator, emphasizes the importance of a granular analysis. Every nut, bolt, and sensor in the engine must be examined. Even a minor flaw left unchecked can cascade into catastrophe. The second area of focus is human factors. Was the cockpit crew sufficiently rested, alert, and properly trained for every conceivable emergency? Fatigue and stress have long been recognized as hidden dangers in aviation. In 2010, after the Mangalore crash, India mandated Crew Resource Management (CRM) training for all pilots, a move that has since become a global standard. Yet, as Captain Ranganathan cautions, training is only effective if it's rigorous and regularly updated to meet new challenges. Gaps in simulator sessions, over-reliance on automation, or outdated checklists can leave even experienced crews vulnerable in fast-changing situations. The third dimension involves environmental and organizational factors. Were airport safety protocols adequate? Did ground staff, air traffic controllers, and emergency responders coordinate effectively in those critical minutes? Elizabeth Braw, an aviation security analyst, warns, enhanced airport safety measures are crucial for preventing future incidents. Every link in the chain must be strong, from runway inspections to crash rescue drills. To put this tragedy in perspective, consider the broader history of aviation safety. Each major accident has prompted sweeping reforms. The Tenerife disaster of 1977 led to international changes in cockpit communication protocols. The Air France Flight 447 crash in 2009 forced airlines worldwide to rethink pilot training for high-altitude stalls. After the Mangalore crash in 2010, India introduced mandatory CRM training and stricter oversight of pilot duty hours. These measures have saved countless lives, but as this latest disaster reveals, the work of safety is never finished. The economic consequences of the Air India crash are already rippling across the industry. Boeing's market capitalization has suffered, prompting urgent internal reviews and public reassurances. Airlines operating Dreamliners have ramped up inspections, and some are contemplating temporary groundings until further notice. Regulatory agencies are weighing whether to impose stricter maintenance checks, mandate more simulator training, or accelerate the deployment of new technologies, such as AI-powered predictive maintenance, fatigue monitoring systems, and advanced cockpit alerts that can warn crews of subtle anomalies before they escalate. For passengers, this moment feels like a crossroads. Air travel is integral to modern life, connecting families, enabling business, and fostering cultural exchange. Yet every crash, however rare, shakes public confidence and reminds us of the risks that come with soaring miles above the earth. Families of the 241 victims are demanding not just compensation, but real assurances that no one else will face the same fate. Their voices carry weight, spurring international agencies and policymakers to action. The government's response has been robust. In addition to the high-level investigative committee, a dedicated passenger hotline was established to provide information and support to relatives around the world. The Tata Group, mindful of its responsibility as the airline operator, has pledged ongoing assistance to the families, including counseling services and legal aid. But as history shows, the most meaningful legacy of this tragedy will be measured in the reforms that follow, not just in India, but across the global aviation landscape. So, what are the possible outcomes of this investigation? Experts believe that if the root cause is traced to mechanical failure, Boeing and its suppliers may face a wave of lawsuits and regulatory actions, potentially resulting in worldwide inspections or groundings of Dreamliners until all issues are addressed. If pilot fatigue or inadequate training is found to be at fault, airlines may be required to overhaul their crew scheduling, increase simulator time, and enforce stricter fatigue management policies. If lapses in airport safety or air traffic control procedures played a role, expect a rapid tightening of protocols, not just at Ahmedabad, but at major airports everywhere. Technological innovation is likely to accelerate in the wake of this disaster. Predictive analytics powered by artificial intelligence can now monitor thousands of aircraft parameters in real time, flagging potential failures before they happen. Fatigue monitoring systems use biometrics and wearables to ensure pilots are alert and fit for duty. Advanced cockpit interfaces can guide crews through complex emergencies, reducing the chance of human error. These tools, once considered futuristic, may soon become mandatory. Dr. Hansman of MIT notes, "The real test is whether we can learn, adapt, and prevent, not just investigate. But change does not happen automatically. Experts like Tom Ferrier, an aviation safety consultant, stress the need for swift and decisive action. The recommendations of the investigative committee must be implemented quickly to restore public trust and prevent further tragedies. Delays, half measures, or bureaucratic inertia can undermine even the best intentions. International coordination will be key, as aviation is by nature a global enterprise. Aircraft, crews, and passengers routinely cross borders, and best practices must be shared across continents. For viewers, the lessons of Air India flight AI-171 are both sobering and empowering. Every time you board a flight, you are placing your trust in a vast, interconnected system. Engineers, pilots, regulators, ground staff, and cutting-edge technology all working together to make your journey safe. The procedures you see, the safety briefings, the meticulous maintenance checks, the emergency drills, are all shaped by the hard-won lessons of past tragedies. Behind every regulation and every checklist lies a story, often written in heartbreak, but ultimately driving progress. So, what can you do with this knowledge? First, demand transparency from airlines about their safety records, pilot training standards, and maintenance practices. Choose carriers with a strong reputation for safety and a proven track record of investing in crew training and well-being. Stay informed about technological advances. Artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, and fatigue monitoring are not just buzzwords. They are shaping the future of air travel. For those in tech or global business, recognize that events like this can disrupt entire industries overnight. Staying ahead of regulatory changes and safety innovations gives you a competitive edge, whether as a traveler, investor, or policymaker. Looking ahead, the world is watching the ongoing investigation. The black box data, now being analyzed in Delhi by a team of experts, may hold the key to unraveling the mystery. Early signs point towards a combination of engine anomalies and a rapid deviation from the standard departure route. However, veteran investigators warn that final conclusions often require months of painstaking analysis. The most important outcome will not be a single verdict, but the reforms that follow: stricter pilot training, upgraded airport protocols, and real-time AI diagnostics could become the new global standard, dramatically improving passenger safety. One little-known fact: the aviation industry's greatest leaps forward have almost always followed tragedy. After the Mangalore crash in 2010, for example, India led the world in adopting mandatory CRM training, a best practice now emulated globally. The lessons from Air India flight AI-171 could similarly spark an era of AI-driven diagnostics, enhanced fatigue management, and even more robust international safety collaboration. Only time will tell, but if history is any guide, change is both inevitable and necessary. In closing, if you found these insights valuable, make sure to subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you believe is the single most important change needed in aviation safety today? We invite you to join the conversation and stay tuned for our upcoming special report, where we will unpack the final findings of the investigation and explore what they mean for travelers everywhere. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, and never stop asking the tough